with U of M great and former NFL star Braylon Edwards and Ryan Ermanni. Sit back and let's talk some Detroit sports right now on The Bottom Line.
And here we go, Monday, August 8th, 2022. Ermanni and Edwards, Bottom Line, Woodward, Sports Network, Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
Good afternoon, my friend, and I'm going to leave it there. Guess who's back? I miss my buddy Maz. Maz is back, ladies and gentlemen.
Maz is back.
What's going on,
Tom
Maz?
Mazawey. Yes.
What up, fellas?
How you doing, buddy?
Brother?
Did you guys miss me?
Hey, thanks
yes,
for the
we
hats.
did, brother.
You're welcome.
Stick did an amazing job, but to tell you like this, there's no replacing my dear friend Maz.
Thank you, guys. Missed you guys.
Thanks for the hats, dude.
I gave you a like each day, by the way.
Look at this.
You did.
Yes.
We'll take the like.
Appreciate that.
Why
Look
not?
at the hats that man
Yeah,
bought with
I
him,
got
too,
those.
though.
They got delivered when I was away on vacay.
Okay.
Because I ordered them when the All-Star game
Oh,
came
you're the
out.
best.
But you gotta love it. You gotta like the logo. It's got a little star on it.
Hey, man.
And we got our childhood teams.
100%. And
That's how I
only
did.
one hat represents the reigning, defending World Series champion.
And it ain't
Atlanta
mine.
Braves, baby. A damn strange. We have to talk about it. Is last night not the perfect representation of the Detroit Tigers season?
It represents the 2022 year as a whole for the Detroit Tigers. 0-0, 2 outs, ninth inning, and they give up 7. Not hits, not walks.
I was there.
7 runs with 2 outs and nobody on in the ninth
Through the
inning.
first 8 innings, a total of 105 pitches. In the ninth inning alone, 45 pitches for the Detroit Tigers.
It's
They
incredible.
have today off. They should just take the rest of the season
Right.
off. Just stay home.
I told you, though, I don't
Stay
care.
out.
I mean, I am done on this team. I'm done until Al Avila is no longer in charge.
It's like I'm done, but at the same time, like stuff like that, you can't ignore it. It's like, all right, cool, I'm done. I'm not even paying attention
Right.
anymore. And then it pops up on my feed. I'm like, wait, 7 out with two outs?
Hey, it's history, by the way. It's the first time a team entered the game 0-0 and scored 7 runs in the ninth inning in the history of baseball.
Wow.
That is incredible. And your 2022 Detroit Tigers wear that dubious tag.
Once again.
If I seem a little distracted, out of the left corner of my eye right now, I've got the Little League World Series regional game. The Great Lakes region as my Grosse Pointe Farm City state of Michigan champs.
Yep.
They're playing Ohio right now on ESPN. They're up 5-3 in the fourth. They play 6 innings. I'll let you know how that goes throughout the rest of the show. But Braylon, we got to get back to our guy over here.
That last inning was almost the Detroit
man,
Tigers.
no kidding. Tell us about the trip,
Mount
man.
Rushmore, baby.
It was great, man. Hey, God bless you. It's not a trip that I would usually do.
You didn't want to take the trip.
I didn't.
Let's be fair with the people.
Right.
Be honest.
I like going to see my family in Jersey. But on the other side, I wouldn't mind going to Aruba or the Bahamas or some type of beach. Okay? But my wife wanted to go with the kids, put them in a car, and go almost cross country. And let's go visit Mount Rushmore. I'm like, that sounds great. I love Mount Rushmore. So our first stop was at the Field of Dreams.
The beautiful Mazawey.
I got to go to the Field of Dreams in Iowa.
Look at that.
What's it like?
In
There it
Dyersville,
is.
Iowa. Those are my girls coming out of the corn stalks.
Get out of here.
Just like the ghosts
Now, I've
of
always-
Field of Dreams.
I didn't see that.
I've always felt when you walk in certain places, they have that aura. Like you can almost sense the ghosts of the past. Like when you walk in Madison Square Garden, it has that aura to it. When you walk in Green Bay, Lambeau Field, it has that aura. Like you feel it. Is that how it is at the Field of Dreams?
It was not like that,
Okay.
but it was beautiful.
Gotcha.
And the kids, you can go there and just play on that field. Kids are playing, hitting the balls to each other. Kids that don't know each other from all walks of life,
man.
all different parts of the country.
That's dope.
And on every Saturday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Central Time, they play a game. And 8 men come out from the corn stalks.
Get out of here.
With the White Sox full regalia
How do you get
uniform.
to be one of those guys?
They've been around. A lot of those guys, 3 of them were actually in the movie.
Get out of
wow.
here.
Yeah, we're actually in the movie.
Boy, they took their 15 minutes of fame
They
for the last
did.
35
They
years.
sure
They
did.
kept it rolling.
They sure did.
So are they continuing that game again this year? I
Yeah,
believe it's
Thursday.
Yes.
It's the Cubs and
Cubs
the
and
Cardinals.
Reds.
Reds.
Cubs and Reds.
Oh, Cubs and Reds, excuse
It's
me.
on
Yes.
Thursday, I
Oh,
believe.
it is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now that field backs
Yeah.
up to the Field of Dreams. But you were not allowed to go on the Major League Baseball diamond. But the beautiful diamond in Dyersville, Iowa. I highly recommend any baseball fan want to take a ride out to Iowa. Beautiful, maybe 8 hours, 8.5 hours max from Michigan. Go there and enjoy the day.
So you go to Mount Rushmore, and then you on your way back from Mount Rushmore, you go to Minneapolis?
Yes.
And you're at the Mall of America.
We're at the Mall of America on our
I didn't get an invite to this trip, man. This trip sounds amazing.
I know.
This trip sounds amazing.
We left South Dakota, and we say, all right, we're going to go to Minnesota because I got tickets to see the Twins and Jays.
You missed the Tigers by a day.
I know. We were there, but we didn't make it in time for that game.
Okay.
Wow.
So instead of that, we decided we're going to go to Mall of America.
You saw a better game.
Yeah, we're going to go to Mall of America.
Right.
Mall of America, first time I've ever been there. It sits on the home of the old Metropolitan Stadium where the Vikings used to play.
Oh, wow.
So back in the day, that's where the Vikings played. So now they got this huge mall, and it's about 1.25 miles around to get around to all these stores. So we're there. We're having a good time. The girls are spending all this money. We decide after lunch, all right, we're going to go meet at this place called Warby Parker. We have one in downtown Detroit. They specialize in eyeglasses.
Yes.
It's a fancy way of buying eyeglasses.
Gotcha.
So I'm there, and before you know it, we get the text out to the girls, come in the store. Let's see if we can all get a pair of glasses and get this over with. Because Kathy's been trying to go, and it just doesn't work out because of COVID down in Detroit. They have like one person, like Fish there, working the whole store, basically. So you're not going to get anything accomplished with Fish working the store there. So we finally all convene in the store. I get my glasses, so I sit down. You know how guys sit down and let everyone else shop?
Absolutely.
I'm at the window in the front of the store, sitting down on the stoop, and I hear pop, 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 pop. I heard 4 shots. So I'm like, I hope that's the Ferris wheel or roller coaster doing something because it's got an amusement park in there. Then I see people screaming and running for their lives.
Unbelievable.
I was in a shoot.
A shooting.
A shooting.
An active shooting. Wow.
We didn't know if it was one person, 2 people. We didn't know if they were trying to shoot the whole place up.
You don't know anything.
You don't know
just
anything.
hear 4 shots.
So automatically, these doors, they have everything down pat. They close the doors. Everything gets locked down. Every store that you're in, they pull you in. If you're like walking in the hall, they'll pull you into the store, and they lock the doors, and then they send everyone to the back, and that door automatically locks.
Wow.
These people go through this training. So we're in an active shooting. Now, right above us is the Nike store, and that's where it took place. Because I went on Twitter. We're all in the back room.
No, Detroit Dapper on the chat says, I was in a shoot.
I was in a shoot.
Sounds like a wrestling time. I was in a shoot.
So,
it's not funny, but it's damn
you got
funny
me,
at the same
man.
It's
time.
not funny. It's very sad.
Yeah.
It's
So
very sad.
they get us in the back room, and I go on Twitter right away, and I find out it's upstairs from us directly at the Nike store.
Shoot.
And then before you know it, it turns out it was just 1 or 2 guys that went back to their cars, got guns, came in, and I guess they were pissed off at some people. And you heard 4 shots. It turns out nobody was injured.
Good.
Thank God.
That's great.
They haven't caught the guy yet. They do have pictures of him because he was on camera for everyone to see.
Oh, my God.
And,
what a story.
But, you know, my daughters, it really shook everybody up, big time.
Oh, I bet.
But the employees there were phenomenal. The way they calmed you down and say, hey, listen, you know, we were trained for this, blah, blah, blah.
Dude, that is incredible about training, right?
Yeah.
When you're trained, and you never know how you're going to react in any situation, no matter how the amount of training, whatever. I mean, think about, you know, cops in certain situations. I mean, I think about those kids in Texas.
Yeah.
Those cops didn't do diddly poo.
No.
Exactly. So you mean to tell me people from Foot Locker are actively
You know what I
trained?
mean? So I guess I was going to say.
When we were kids, you had fire drills, then the tornado drills, and all of that. Now they have shooting drills.
And bullets a little bit more scary than fire.
Yeah.
And here's the kicker to it now. Can I give you the side note? I got tickets to the Twins game that night. So I'm like to the people, I'm like, how long do they keep you in here?
Trying to get out and get to the game.
Can I go out this back door? And my daughters are yelling at me.
Oh,
Dad,
my God.
Dad, how could you? How could you?
Worried about the game, right?
I got there for the 4th inning.
Unbelievable.
Now, I may not have known. That's where the Vikings used to play, on that same plot of land. But I do know who owns that plot of land, none other than Stan Kroenke.
Really?
How about that?
Stan Kroenke owns them All-American
That guy
land.
just owns everything, or what?
Real estate. That's how he made all his
Now,
money.
here's the
owning
kicker to that.
Those malls.
The sister mall to that is in New Jersey, next to the Meadowlands. They call it the American Dream. They have a ski.
Fell short.
They got the ski lodge. They got they have a amusement park there as well. And it's in New Jersey, but it's hardly filled because it got built during COVID. Mm-hmm. Actually, it got built for the past 25 years. I think the Sopranos guys are on the site there, building that building because they've had to rebuild it 75 different times. But yeah, that was part of my vacation. I was in an active shooting.
Well, we're happy to have you. We're happy to have you back, Matt. Yes. You were in a shoot. We're happy to have you back, no doubt about it. Before we get into the show momentarily, can I just say that Edwin Diaz entrance for the New York Mets?
That's the greatest.
It's been trending on social media all day long. The best entrance in all of baseball. I literally watched that 100 times, and we can't play it for you because of the YouTube rights and regulations.
It's Narcos is the name of the song.
How many times I played before the show started?
I know. I want the Mets to win the World Series just so I can see Edwin Diaz come out.
Neil Rule is there tonight. I told him, you got a shot. He's like, he's been out the last 2 games, so he's probably not going to come out. He's probably not coming out tonight.
No doubt about it. All right, guys. Big show for you today. Second hour of the program is going to be devoted to some college football. Coaches poll came out today. Michigan number 6 and Michigan State number 14. We'll talk to Alejandro Zúñiga from Michigan Insider 24/7 Sports. Get you the latest on the first week of Michigan's camp. But next, we're going to get into some Detroit Lions talk. They are on the field as we speak in Allen Park. 2 o'clock practice today for them. 18,000 fans at Ford Field over the weekend. And there is so much buzz surrounding this football team right now. Especially with Hard Knocks coming out tomorrow. We will talk about that buzz. We will do that next. But first, a message from SMA.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is F-Word, standing for fentanyl, just provides information about mental health. It provides information about addiction. If you or anyone that you know has an issue, think you might have an issue, go to thesportsma.com to get the answers and the help that you need. Sean Jordan and the NFL Alumni Association Detroit chapter do an amazing job with the conversation. thesportsma.com.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Get a free Woodward Sports t-shirt. That's right, a free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi. Just stop in, tell them we sent you, and they will print you one on the spot. So go to Big Frog Novi today and get your free t-shirt or visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi. That is bigfrog.com/Novi.
Frogger.
Hello, Motor City. This is unbelievable. Look at you guys. Listen, I would say this. You guys have heard me say this, but I think what makes Detroit special is the fact that man, you guys will roll your sleeves up and put in a hard day's work. And I think we want to model ourselves after that. I tell you what, you would give your coat in winter. You would give your coat to somebody in winter that needed it, man. That's what this community is about. However, nobody will take advantage of our hospitality. Nobody. So that's who we're about. That's what we're about. This team is working their rear off. to give you something to be proud of. All right, they're grinding it out right now. And I know this, we are freaking starving. We are starving. So the hyenas better get out of the way. All right, ma'am.
And that was Dan Campbell, Braylon, addressing a crowd of 18,000 fans at Ford Field who showed up for their practice downtown over the weekend. And look, this guy continues to talk a big game, to say the right things, to feed into the idea that the Detroit Lions are going to have a pretty good year this year. 2 weeks of training camp in the books.
So you know I'm a huge wrestling fan, especially when I was younger. One of my favorite wrestlers, rest in peace, is Dusty Rhodes. The reason why Dusty Rhodes was so popular with the people is he was a man of the people. He talked about the plumbers. He talked about the construction workers. He talked about the average man. He identified as the average man, and that's why the fans identify with him. And he used to go against Ric Flair, the hotshot, flashy guy. That's what Dan Campbell seems to be doing. He's connecting to this community. He's connecting to the people that have been pissed for years that the Lions have put so much money into merchandise, into tickets, into support, and every Monday morning they feel the blues. I think he is trying to connect to the city. I think he's doing an amazing job. But with that said, Ryan and Maz, if you go out there and go 3-13-1 again, there's going to be some problems. Like, I believe that they're going to be a better team this year. I got them running around 7 games like we've talked about. But you're setting yourself up. So don't fall short.
You mentioned that record, 3-13-1, and just moments ago, and again, we can't show this to you either because of the HBO rights, but the Detroit Lions just posted a new Hard Knocks trailer in which Jamal Adams gathers Jamal Williams, running back, gets the team together and is giving them a speech on the field. He says, anytime you're hired, think about that effing record we had last year. Anytime you can't go anymore, think about that effing record we had last year. I mean, these guys are winning every single day. And like I said last week, they can't beat the Eagles right now. And I know there's a segment of fans out there that will not buy in, rightfully so, I might add, until or unless they do it on the field. And all of this stuff happening right now is just noise. I think it's more than that.
Yeah.
But I understand if you want to sit on the sidelines, not you, but you in general want to sit on the sidelines and wait to see how they show up against the Eagles.
Yeah, they went 3-13-1 last year, but the difference is they didn't say, oh, it's just another Lions season. That's not the attitude that they had in Allen Park. That's not the attitude of the coaches, of the players. It wasn't, oh, it's just another Lions season. They took it personal, in the words of MJ from The Last Dance. My freshman year, we lost to Michigan State, freaking Spartan Bob. We lost to Michigan State. We lost to Ohio State. We lost to Washington. And then we got the doors blown off of us by Tennessee. So it was a very bad year for what Michigan's used to. They won the Big Ten the year before that. And I remember Shante Orr, Detroit product, went to Denby High School, went to Michigan, got drafted by the Houston Texans. He put on a shirt that said 45-17. Every day we were in winter condition, Shante Orr said, had that shirt on, 45-17. Never's going to happen again. Then Coach Carr, they started putting 45-17 around everywhere. So every rep, you're like, I can do another rep because 45-17. I can get another run in because it's 45-17. I could put 25 more pounds on this weight because of 45-17. When you believe with a passion that you're going to come back, that you're going to take that next step, man, it can be something special.
You know, and then, okay, so how do they go about taking the next step? They need their players to play good football.
Yeah.
And
you need good players.
You need good players, but they did improve the roster. And one of those, we think. Well, so far we think they improved their roster from last year. I know that.
Yeah.
You know, because that roster last year was not very talented. They just got the most out of it. But you know, there's one guy in particular that is showing up on my highlight feeds all the time, and that's DJ Chark.
Yeah.
DJ Chark is out there balling in training camp. You know, talking about how this organization and this team is asking him or has asked him to do things that he was never asked to do. in Jacksonville, and he loves it. He is out there grinding. He's out there playing. And we talk about this receiver core. They need somebody to step up and step away from everybody, too, because you can't just have a bunch of good guys. You do need some sort of an alpha. I believe that. You need that alpha. And I'm on Ross St. Brown was last year, but perhaps it's Chark.
Yeah, and that would be a good space for him to be. Listen, 2 years ago, he made the Pro Bowl. Last year, a ton of people were taking him in fantasy before he hurt his ankle. When you were in the situation that he was in last year with Coach Urban Meyer and that the S show that was the Jacksonville Jaguars last year, to leave that team, to come back to it and to get a deal with a team like Detroit where you see the future is bright. You see the coach cares about the players. You see the owner cares about the players. You see the general manager is making smart decisions. You see the team is buying in as a whole. You're like, you know what? No. This is what it is. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure I step up for this team, that I do the things necessary, that I do the things that I know I can do. Getting back to something you said earlier, you talk about, it was a lot of bad guys on their team last year. They weren't very good. The one thing in terms of closing that gap with the teams that are already good is coaching and being disciplined. That's something that you can change. That's something that they can be right now. Least penalized, that's all discipline. That's all discipline. Least penalized, calling the right plays at the right time, like being a disciplined, focused, detailed team. You don't have to be a great player to be disciplined, focused, and detailed. So if they pay attention to the details, have discipline this year, I think they will take that step. That's how.
I saw him, Dan Campbell made him get out of the huddle. Go back, get in the huddle. He didn't like the way they broke the huddle. He made him do it like 10 straight times. He didn't like the way they looked. He wants them to come out of that huddle and get to their business right away. The guy is coaching, man. And you saw some videos of him back in Miami. I think it made its round.
Today one made the round.
Yeah, it made its round of him. And I seen this one before years ago. He was undressing his tight end or wide receiver, saying, "Don't you ever loaf when your guy is out there. You hit that block. I don't care if you drop a pass, but don't you ever loaf when you're trying to throw a block. You have to protect that guy. That's your guy." And that was when he was with Miami on an interim basis. I loved him since then. I'd say it, man crush, whatever you want to call it, man crush Monday. I love Dan Campbell. I love what he's doing, and I'm glad he's on my side. And I really believe they will improve each year under him.
That's the mindset that I'm talking about. Like I love that play. I love it. I know exactly what you're talking about. But that's the mindset I'm talking about, creating mindset. When you give that extra effort, that's how you get big runs. That's how you get big plays. That you never know that a play is over until the play is over. So guys, when they're loafing, when they're on the backside of a route, well, the reason that guy didn't catch the pass that it was intended for is because by you not going as fast as you were going, because you knew you weren't getting the ball, the safety doesn't have to pay any attention to you. So now the safety can go off to the play that he's going to be on. With the same thing with a block. If the safety's coming down there and you kind of just loaf pass, well, now the safety's going by you. He's come down, now he's hit the running back for a gain of 11 when that actually could have been a 40-yard touchdown. So you got to give that extra effort because your teammates see it too. Then they're going to want to do the same for you.
And it feels like they are getting that extra effort. It feels like they're, like I said, they're saying the right things, they're doing the right things, they're practicing hard, they're going through that. But you have to get it done on the field. I think getting a strong start, going 3-1, heaven forbid, winning that first quarter of the season essentially is so freaking important to this team. Don't lay an egg against Philadelphia. Come out, win the first two at home, Philadelphia and Washington, and see this city and see this football team get a little confidence and go from there. I cannot wait for this season to start. I'm so excited about it. And so are a lot of people around here. So many people excited for Hard Knocks tomorrow as well. We'll talk a little bit about that, some of the things we want to see. And again, I want to keep going back to this offense because this season is going to be, that offense cannot lay an egg. It has to be as good as advertised. We can hit on those things next. Plus, ESPN.com does not like the Lions' offensive line. Why is that? We'll have it for you next. But first, a message from the Foaling Warehouse.
In Hamtramck, Chris Hunt invented this game, football and bowling put together. It is Foaling, and the place is phenomenal. It's like going back in time in this big warehouse setting. 2 ways to play it, $12 unlimited open play, or a private lane reservation, 10 or 12 of your closest friends. You get the lane to yourself for 2 hours, and it costs you $120, less than $10 per person. Get your drink on at the bar. The bar is high, as Marty Morningweg would always say. Over 100 beers to offer, and, of course, multiple full bars. They got any drink that you want. Bring your own food in or have it delivered. It's the Foaling Warehouse. Get your foal on. Check them out at foalingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh, wait. It's 2 for $4. Got double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You can get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Summer salads, and dip shakes. All at Big Boy. Try a chicken club, chicken cordon bleu, or sunrise ham and cheddar. All on our grilled ciabatta bread. Or keep it light with our Michigan apple, chicken Caesar, or Greek salad. And don't forget to cool off with a frosty hand-dipped cookies and cream or strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summer just got better.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Planet Fitness is inviting all high school teens between ages of 14 and 19 to work out for free all summer long via the High School Summer Pass.
Free?
And it goes all the way until August 31st. Planet Fitness is home of the Judgment Free Zone, where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere with membership starting at only $10 a month.
Only $10?
Only $10. Or you could splurge and get the black card for $24.99 per month. Join today in club or online at planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Essential.
Man, where did the spring and summer go? I remember when we first started advertising that, Planet Fitness was free. That was in May for high school kids, and said it was ending August 31st. That's around the corner now.
Unbelievable. It's just, and by the way, high school football practice has started today.
School starts in like 2 weeks.
I know, around the state of Michigan. So pretty interesting stuff. Hey, if you're watching on Twitter or Facebook, please go ahead and we're going to end that feed and move you exclusively over to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Check us out there. We would love it if you could hit that like button for us. Less than 100 subscribers away from 30,000. So that's a pretty significant milestone on this platform. And maybe we'll get there today. Hopefully we will. Maybe. Tell a friend about Woodward Sports Network. We'd certainly appreciate that. Braylon, this is the Detroit Lions are the most functional team. I don't want to say they're the most functional team in the city because I think the Red Wings and Pistons could put up a fight in that regard. But this is the most functional the Detroit Lions have been, and I can't tell you, as long in my adult life, I can't tell you the last time.
They were functional under Jim Caldwell.
90s? Oh.
They were.
Yeah, I don't think I had the confidence in Martin Mayhew that I have in Brad Holmes.
That's fair.
So that's fair. The coach was great, but I'm not sure that Martha Ford or Martin Mayhew were as strong as Sheila, Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell.
Well put.
Okay.
So
fair enough.
To me, this is the most functional they've been in my lifetime. And I think now they just have to go ahead and prove that on the field.
Yeah, I think the thing, like you just said, talking about DJ Chark, somebody has to step up. And when you look at those teams, those Lions teams you're talking about, they had star players on that team. And Ndamukong Suh was a star. Calvin Johnson, a star. Matt Stafford, a star at times. So they had some star power in there. So you felt good. Even Ezekiel Ansah for a couple of years.
Great point.
Even they had star power. That's one of the steps now that the Lions got to take. I need to see Aiden Hutchinson be what he was drafted at number 2. When Jamison Williams comes, I need to see that. With DJ Chark, I love that he's taking that step, but I got to see it on Sunday, not just in training camp. The offensive line, they're supposed to be this big bad machine. Well, I got to see Frank Ragnow dominating people, bulldozing people, and I need to see the same amount of Taylor Decker and TJ Hawkinson. That's the next step. Some of your players got to turn to stars.
You just totally pushed my button on something because you hit the nail on the freaking head. There's no team in the NFL that has good players, all good players, and just makes the playoffs. You need to have somebody that is a star on your team, whether it's your quarterback position, running back, wide receiver, defensively, whoever it is. You need stars on your team. Does this team have that? Can Swift be that star? Can Chark be that star? Can Aiden Hutchinson, Tracy Walker, Oruwariye, can any of those guys be a true star? Not just a star in the Lions. I'm talking about an NFL star. A star in the NFL.
That's how you take the next step. Those guys, they're poised for it to happen. But are they going to go make it happen? You got to go in those games. You got to believe. You got to have confidence. You got to take it outside of Allen Park, and you got to take it downtown to Ford Field and say, yo, this is going to be our year. I'm taking the next step this year. I'm going to be a star. Because when you do it, that's when teams start winning, man. You got to have star power, but you got to have the confidence to be a star.
Can T.J. Hawkinson, Maz, get into that conversation with Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews?
I don't think so, but I think he's a step below them. And that's all we really need out of him at this point. I mean, I'd love him to be that, but he would have been that already. I mean, I'd say he was a little bit of a disappointment, if you ask me, for how high they drafted him. That's not his fault they took him that high. And there were other tight ends that you liked. Noah Fant was in that one as well.
And I still wouldn't have drafted Noah Fant that high. They took him too high.
Yeah.
Let's start there. I never liked that pick of T.J. Hawkinson that soon. Now, with that being said,
someone else would have took him.
Exactly. But now, with that being said, we have seen some skill out of him.
Absolutely.
We have seen he has the ability to take a play and take it the distance. He has it, but he blocks as well. So he's an underrated blocker. So he got to take that next step. DeAndre Swift, we saw last year. We saw at times. It is there. DJ Chark 2 years ago. He showed you by making the Pro Bowl. So they have the talent. Guys, they have the right people. Now, you just got to stay healthy. That's one, because health is always a big thing. And then the chemistry.
You want Jamison Williams to be your star. They drafted him to be their star, to be their guy, to be their Tyreek Hill, to be the stud.
To be their Jamar Chase.
Yeah, Jamar Chase, excuse me. But you need the Joe Burrow to go with it. So now you have to hope that Jared Goff can become a quarterback that can get up the ball. That's it. And you got to hope the kid stays healthy and gets healthy.
I think offensively, though, and everybody will talk about defense. This is where the inexperience is. This is where the weakness of the team will be. I understand that. But I think because you have so many resources in your offense, you're paying your quarterback $30 million a year. You've got those 3 first-round picks on your offensive line. You've got a high-drafted tight end. Yep. You've spent a lot of free agent money in the wide receiver position. Well, not a lot of money because Chark is on a 1-year, $10 million deal, but it was a very pointed signing. Amon-Ra St. Brown, so much hope. DeAndre Swift. Offensively, they can't come out here and whiff week in and week out. They can't even have a whiff here and a whiff there. I mean, they got to come out, and we talk about this with the Michigan offense. You're just going to have to outscore people. Yeah. You're going to have to score 24 points a game with this offense. I mean, you have to come out here and score 24 points a game.
It has the potential to be a pretty good offense. It actually has the potential to be a good offense. But the key is going to be that keeping guys on the field. Last year, what you saw due to the injuries, you saw a lot of different rosters. 1 week you see Penei Sewell at left tackle. Now he's over at right tackle. 1 week Khalif Raymond start. Then they bring Josh Reynolds in and he start. Quintez Cephas is the guy, and then he gets hurt. DeAndre Swift. Now it's no longer Jamal Williams because he's hurt. But now Jamal Williams is hurt, so now you bring in Craig Reynolds. There was so many different variations of the roster on the offensive side. You can't build any chemistry. You can't build any consistency. So that's going to be a big key this year, having everybody there, pray for the health, because that's how you build consistency. The teams that win, they got the same squad on the field at all times, all 18 weeks of the season.
I just threw a number out there, 24 points a game. Do you know how many times the Lions scored 24 points a game last year? Just guess.
4.
6.
5. Scored 24 points five times last year.
Yeah.
And I think in order for them to be, a 10-win team, 11-win team, which I believe they are, I think they've got to do it 12 or 13 times this year, where they score that amount of points.
Why? Their defense is better than last year.
I think they might need to score more than 24, to be honest, to make up for that.
I'm just saying minimum.
I agree with you, but I'm thinking, what is the average? It would be a good point. What is the average team, like the top 15 teams, what are they averaging per game? Because they score a lot of points now in the NFL. And if your defense isn't up to snuff, now I know they're going to be a much better defense this year, but they're still not there yet. So the Detroit Lions, you might have to score upwards of 28 to 30 to protect that defense until they show something.
Why, you don't think they're better on the defensive side of the ball?
I think they are better, but they got a tough schedule, man.
Let's see here. NFL.
Not tough schedule.
I got yards again. I can't find that on the fly, but
we'll figure it out after the break. We'll figure it out on the break.
Right, but they got to score more than they did last year, right? They got to score more than they did last year. I'm thinking minimum 24 points a game in 12 or 13 of those games, in order to be a 10 or 11-win team, which I think they can be. Guys, I mentioned the offensive line for the Lions. ESPN.com does not look fondly upon them. I'll tell you what they say about the Lions. Really, best unit, you'd say, collectively, perhaps. We'll talk about that. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. It is no secret that new cars are hard to come by, but they are available at Les Stanford Chevrolet. You've got to make a plan, though. Allocation coming in for lease or purchase of new vehicles. They do have cars on the lot. If you want to drive off in a car, you do have the ability to do that. Just head on over to the dealership there on Michigan Avenue in Dearborn. You can drive off in a car today. Over 300 pre-owned cars on their lot as well. All makes, all models, all years. For more, head over to LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new road.
Find them.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Hey, it's Scott from the Woodward Bet Show. Hey, it's Monday. What a week we got. We got some Lions football coming up here this weekend. So listen, you guys got to make sure you check us out at 4:30 over the Woodward Bets YouTube page. We've been talking lots of fantasy football. And also, you guys got to make sure you get over to that app store and download oddstrader.com. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, and best place to check all the odds at the sports books right in the palm of your hand. But hey, let's get to that winner. That's what we want. We're going to roll with the over in this Washington Cubs game. Annabelle Sanchez stinks. That's good enough. Oddstrader.com. Woodward Bets. Check it out.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Touchdowns.
At Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done right. Have a big project coming up? Alta Rent has you covered. Call them today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That is 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
What do you got, Bray?
Top 3 teams last year in points per game. Number 1 was Dallas at 30.4, Tampa Bay 29.9, and Buffalo at 29.8. The Chiefs were right there at 29.5.
Did the old touchdown scored last year, right smack dab in the middle, 16. Taking it as a median, 48 touchdowns. Can the Lions score 50 touchdowns this year in 17 games? Be a good barometer.
Yeah.
That's about 3 touchdowns a game.
Lions were 25th last year in points per game at 19.1.
Look at that. All right, guys, ESPN.com hates the Lions' offensive line. They ranked all 32 NFL offensive lines pass and run block rates. The Lions projected 26th.
That is blasphemous.
Projected starters: Taylor Decker, Jonah Jackson, Frank Ragnow, Hulapo Vaitai.
There you go, Vaitai.
And Penei Sewell. 3 first-round draft picks, a third-round draft choice, and a free agent signing. Predicted pass block, number 26. Predicted run block, number 24. They say Sewell's, Sewell's numbers improved when he moved over to right tackle. His pass block win rate, well, nobody cares about that.
Well, yeah, it's a win rate. He's got to win the battle.
Neither right tackle is elite. They're both right around average, but perhaps it suggests what ought to be a slightly brighter forecast in 2022 than his numbers. The question that I have for you is 26th ranked offensive line out of 32 teams.
And
not saying ESPN.com knows everything. What I'm asking is, much like the Tigers' win total this year that we thought was so egregious and so off and so wrong, could this be true as well? Are we overestimating how good this offensive line actually is?
I don't think so. Frank Ragnow didn't play the whole year last year. Taylor Decker only played 4 games last year. Penei Sewell was floating from left tackle to right tackle, so it took him a while to get his footing. We got to take a step back and remember one thing. Penei Sewell hadn't played in a year and was only 20 years old when the season started. So it was going to take him some learning curve, and he got to that learning curve, and now he's locked into the right tackle spot. Taylor Decker is supposed to be a guy that this year he should take that next step. He should be a Pro Bowler because for all the money he makes, he has not made the Pro Bowl yet. Frank Ragnow is a damn good lineman. And then Jonah Jackson last year, he was a Pro Bowl alternate. Then you get Vaitai, who picked up his game in December. It's all about consistency, especially at that offensive line position. When you're interchanging guys all year and you can't look to the left and to the right and know the guy that you're playing with, it's very different when you got the same guy. If you're Taylor Decker and you look to the right and see Jonah, Jonah looks to the right and sees Frank, Frank looks to the right and sees Vaitai, Vaitai looks to the right and sees Penei all year long, man, that's when you start mauling people. That's when you start seeing lines like the Dallas Cowboys, etc. So I think this is a little unfair, but I understand it because they didn't have any chemistry last year, and these 5 guys have never played together.
This is not like, they're not showing you, they're not ranking them on how good a player they are. They're ranking them on how they've won the battle, pass protecting and run blocking. This is a different type of example that they're doing. But if you look at a guy like Penei Sewell, and they drafted him with their number 1 pick, and we all know, who they passed up. But that's besides the point. They could have waited instead of drafting a guy as a left tackle and making him a right tackle, which I'll never understand why you would do that. The San Diego Chargers, the LA Chargers, waited, and they got Rashawn Slater.
Oh, my God, he's a monster.
Who made the Pro Bowl.
He's a monster.
And I keep going back to it, and I'm sorry I do, but it sticks out like a sore thumb. Why you drafted a guy and then move him? He was great at his position. Yeah. I'm sorry, Taylor Decker. I would not have done that to this kid. But they know more than I do. Obviously, I'm not running a football team. And I didn't like what they did from the get-go.
Look, I think Penei Sewell is the least of the Lions' problems this year. Yeah. I think he's going to be a great player, and I don't use that word loosely. I do. I think he's going to be a great player. I'd like to see all 3 of their first-round draft pick offensive linemen be Pro Bowlers this year. I think you could have really something special on the left side, left tackle in Decker, the center Ragnow, and the right tackle in Penei Sewell. If those guys play to the capability that you think they can play to, why you drafted them that high. And, oh, by the way, don't forget you've got a 4th first rounder on the offensive line if you want to add T.J. Hawkinson. Yeah. Boy, I mean, these guys can make this engine go for a long, long time, for many, many years. Not just this year, but for many ahead.
I think Taylor Decker can be damn good, but he plays a tough position in a tough conference because there is a guy by the name of Trent Williams that is the best left tackle in football. And then he also plays in the same division, Tristan Wirfs, who's another monster down there with Tampa. So there's some guys, but he can be one.
Exactly. And you don't I'm just talking about playing to the Pro Bowl capability, playing to a Pro Bowl level. Because we all know that there are guys in this league that just because their name is what their name is, if they have a halfway decent season, they're going to be Pro Bowlers.
Very true.
But just play to that capability. And the most important aspect of this season is keeping Jared Goff healthy. And those guys are tasked to do that.
It's going to be with DeAndre Swift, as good as this line could be, we keep talking about that. You have DeAndre Swift in the backfield. This is going to be his breakout year. Like, it's got to be an attitude, and it has to be an identity. I know we use this word identity, but it is an identity and it is an attitude thing. With the run game, there should be no reason the Detroit Lions don't average 160 yards a game. There should be no reason. They should be maul guys. They should want to get to that. I remember we had the year I got traded to the New York Jets, we led the league in rushing yards. There wasn't a lot of passes being thrown, but I went to the playoffs, so I didn't care about catching passes. They had an attitude that TJ, Thomas Jones, and Sean Green, they were going to clear pass for those jokers. I think Thomas Jones rushed for 1,400 that year, and Sean Green rushed for 900. I think that was his second year out of Iowa. They were just mauling guys. But they came into the locker room at halftime, and they would be yelling at each other like, "We're not getting it done. It's coming off your side." But in constructive criticism, but they were getting after it, and their attitude was, we're going to knock guys off the ball, blow guys off the ball, shoot. It made me want to block. It turned me into a better blocker. So seeing that's how they have to approach it this year. It's got to be an attitude. We're going to maul guys, and we're going to make a room for DeAndre Swift. And oh, by the way, Jared Goff, you won't get touched. You'll have all the time you need. You have that attitude.
And if it is just an attitude thing, I'm buying the Lions then. Yeah. Because their head coach, I think this team is going to be an extension of their head coach. His persona, his fight, his grit, as we saw on that hat or that T-shirt that he wore last week. And I'm excited to see it. Can't wait till Friday. Can't wait till tomorrow with Hard Knocks.
We're going to the game together?
I'm not going to the preseason game. I'm not going to the preseason game.
Check.
I'll watch a couple of plays on the old television set over there on Fox 2. Lions playing on Fox 2 this week.
But even the preseason games, a lot of times people don't put a lot of stock in preseason games. They say, you shouldn't put a lot of stock in. It's just the preseason. We'll wait for the season. But even in the season, you'll be able to know. Even in the preseason, the first game, you'll be able to notice a difference, at least you should, from last year. Guys not jumping off sides. Guys making good throws. Guys making good decisions. Now, we know the starters aren't going to play, but there's still guys on this team getting the same coaching from the same coaches that the starters and the studs and Dan Campbell and the same attitudes in the locker room that have been together since last December and now all the way into August. You should see something better on that field than you saw last year.
We are going to talk about Hard Knocks a lot tomorrow and obviously on Wednesday after we see it. But I would like to ask you and get you guys involved in the chat as well. Is there anything you're hoping to see tomorrow in Hard Knocks that you just want to see, you'd love to see it, or you don't want to see it? Let us know what you think there. Also, are the Lions, should they be in the market for a third running back? Kareem Hunt wants out of Cleveland. Is he a guy that the Lions should consider? All that and more. See you, Fish. Good job, Fish. We'll see you, buddy.
Yeah.
Have a good day, Fish. We love Fish over here. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, where you can come for an award-winning haircut experience. Register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win the car of your dream as well. From Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac, Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime, no appointment necessary. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer, Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new Field House. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Holton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
OddsTrader.com is the website for all your game day bets. Play-by-play updates, live scores, and the best price on every game from multiple, yes, I said it, multiple sports books. Simply put, for all the best bets, the players you want to bet on, the things you want to bet on, the conversations you want to have, you need to do it at OddsTrader.com. They are the best. Parlays, nothing. World Series, nothing. Bet right now on who's going to win the Super Bowl. Who you got? I know who I got. I got the Chiefs. I know you like that. Hey, OddsTrader.com. That was for my boy Sam right there.
Okay. So, Hard Knocks tomorrow. And again, we'll talk a lot about it tomorrow and Wednesday. But if there's one thing you want to see or one thing you don't want to see tomorrow night, 10 o'clock at HBO, what is it?
I don't want to see Rod Wood. I don't want to see Rod Wood. I have no interest in seeing Rod Wood. I want to see Sheila Hamp. I want to see that. Like, I want to see the chemistry. Like, when you go to the Cowboys or you go to the Patriots and they show training camp and they show the season, the owners are on the field, the general managers are on the field. Those guys are always there every single day looking at the product that is their potential team. I want to see that same thing with Sheila Hamp, I drew a blank on that right there, Brad Holmes. I want to see them together. I want to see them every practice, every day. That's what I want to see.
Listen, I'm a Hard Knocks fan. Watched it from day one. Watched the midseason one last year with Indianapolis. I love it. I want to see Aiden Hutchinson come out and be that alpha that we need him to be. We've seen his workouts. We've seen him at Michigan. We had our doubts about him. And then all of a sudden we really wanted him when Jacksonville had that number one pick. Jacksonville hopefully did us a favor, taking Trayvon Walker and leaving Aiden Hutchinson for us. I want to see him dominate Hard Knocks. I really do. As far as the running backs go, I know I'm going to see a lot of Jamal Williams because he got his ass in shape this year, and he's a talker and a comedian to begin with. I believe we're going to see a lot of him, but I want to see DeAndre Swift really step it up too. Jared Goff got on his soapbox today. He was on a podcast, and he said that's what he's looking forward to. I love a running game. I want us to have a running game, our first running game since Barry Sanders left.
There's one other thing I want to see.
Okay.
There is one more thing I would like to see. So much when people think about the city of Detroit, whether that aren't from here, or they see the city of Detroit, like they don't necessarily get the best angles, the best vantage points. They think this about Detroit. And then, when they do broadcasts, the broadcasts don't necessarily do us any justice. I want to see HBO have some great vantage points, show some great landmarks in Detroit, from aerial views to things like that. I want them to make Detroit look like I know Detroit looks. I don't want any of this BS showing abandoned buildings and stuff like that. I want to see Detroit how I view it when I look straight down Woodward or when I'm going to Belle Isle down Jefferson, just like we took that beautiful ride down Grosse Pointe when we left the house and go out to eat a couple weeks ago. I want to see dope vantage points of my city.
I want to be affirmed. I want to be affirmed in my belief that it's different. I want to see that the players actually playing their asses off. I want to see that they're practicing. I want to see that they're doing all the right things. I have been, for the last 8 months, towards the end of last season, all in on this football team. They're doing it the right way, totally bought in. I wanted Dan Campbell fired the first month of last season.
I was about to say.
But as it went on,
I'll give you the last sentence.
As it went on, I completely bought in, and I want to be affirmed because we're going to get a look inside practice inside that facility that we have never had in our lives, whether we're members of the media or not. You know, you just don't get to be in the places, in the spaces where all of these cameras are. So I want to be affirmed in my belief that it's different.
The only thing that's tricky about that is with the cinematography that they're going to put on HBO, and I think his name is 11, they can make you think a team is worse than they are.
Worse than they are?
And they can make you think a team is better than they are by showing you not everything, or showing you certain, however they want to curve the storyline for this episode. However they want to curve the storyline, like the team had a really bad practice and there was a setback. So that's what I'm saying, like, you got to be careful with that. Don't put too much stock into that, because based on that cinematography and HBO, they can make things look worse or better.
I want to see Jared Goff throw some deep balls to these guys and not fumble the balls in camp, and that's what I want to see. I want to see the guy that Corey told us is the new Jared Goff. That's what I want to see.
And I don't want to see these backup quarterbacks just completely crap in the bed, pooping down their legs. I just don't want to see that.
Who do you think they're going to concentrate on? Pick one player out.
Jamal Williams.
Besides him, like a new guy.
Aiden Hutchinson.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, look, he's a number 2 overall pick.
I'm surprised you didn't choose your guy. That's who they're going to focus on. It's Jeff Okudah.
He'll have an episode.
100%.
He'll have an episode.
The setbacks, the early pick, being called a bust, people trying to move on from him, the regime that drafted him. I think he'll be the guy.
You know, he'll definitely be a focus.
Yeah.
I think Jamal Williams is one of those guys, and again, that name comes to mind because we did just see the trailer of him. Yeah. But he's a character. I mean, he's an absolute character.
Yeah.
And what do television cameras like the most?
They like personalities.
They like people with personalities. What were you going to say, Maz? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I lost my train of thought.
Very good. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the show where we do that. Very good. So, anyway, we can talk a lot about that tomorrow.
I think also I just want to get to learn the players, get to know the players. Like I think you talked about already, getting that deep inset, like that deep, in-depth feeling of knowing the guy. I want to see like who's funny, who's serious, like who's the leaders, like who's the guys that are going to step up, who's the guys that play cards, who the guys that are going to hang out. I want to get an in-depth look at who they are.
You know they're going to definitely go to Hutchinson family.
Yeah.
His sister, like a week after he was the number 1 pick, she wins the beauty pageant because Miss Michigan.
He'll probably do something with Michigan as well. Like
his dad is so successful. His mom, great parents. We're going to see a lot of the Hutchinsons, no question.
Harbaugh find a way on the episode. Harbaugh find a way on the episode.
Hey, speaking of Harbaugh, and we're gonna talk a little Michigan football next with our friend Alejandro Zúñiga. Thank you, brain fart.
Not a problem, brother.
From 24/7 Sports, Michigan Insider. Jim Harbaugh spoke today. First week of camp in the books. Coaches poll came out today. Michigan number 6 and Michigan State number 14. Just off the top, Michigan number 6. What do you think of that, Bray?
I'm cool with that. I'm good with that. I think Alabama's the best team in the country. I think Ohio State is a damn good team as well. I think Clemson is going to surprise some people this year. Don't count them out. Georgia, obviously.
Clemson, I got to see to believe it. Because of the quarterback.
People don't realize they were 10-3 last year.
Right.
Like they lost early, and people are like, "Oh, it's over." Yeah, you're right. DJ Uiagalelei, like yes, he struggled early on in the year, and his whole season wasn't what they thought it was going to be. But I've seen some clips. Those boys are down there working, man. Sometimes, and we were talking about this, and I know we were talking about Michigan, but let me finish this on Clemson real quick. When you keep putting out guys, man, they keep leaving fast and fast, and you're not used to that, man. Sometimes you get to those seasons where, it's a rebuild year kind of sort. I think Clemson went through that last year, but they'll be better. I like that spot for Michigan. I think Michigan will be able to hone that spot for a while. They start off, they don't play too much competition in the first 8 games. It's a good spot for them, and they'll probably end up being 2-3 by the time you're in week 7 or 8.
Can't wait for it. College football, only 3 more Saturdays without Michigan football. Cannot wait. So we'll talk Michigan football next. But first, a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
27 locations and 2 right here on Woodward. You got to get to Chili Peppers Tanning. Check them out at chilipepperstanning.com. Your vitamin D headquarters. If you join the Pepper Club, they'll save you $5 against all competitors on unlimited tanning. The hottest deals in town are at chilipepperstanning.com.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Ciabatta summer salad and hand dip shakes all at Big Boy. Try a chicken club, a chicken cordon bleu, or a sunrise ham and cheddar, all on our grilled delicious ciabatta bread. Or keep it light with the Michigan apple, the chicken Caesar, or the Greek salad. And don't forget to save room for dessert. You got to cool off with a nice hand-dipped cookies and cream or strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summers just got better at Big Boy.
Just for what it's worth, you know, we talk so much about these polls and how great, Michigan's number 6 in the coaches poll, Michigan State number 14. Just as a point of reference, Michigan won the Big Ten championship last year and was in the college football playoff. Only 4 teams get to go to that fine little tournament. Do you know what they were ranked in the preseason coaches poll last year?
26.
Not ranked. They were not ranked in the top 25. They were 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33.
Oh, that's right. They were 30, Because it wasn't Michigan State right behind them, like 35 or something?
34, 35, 36, 30. I don't see Michigan State at all in the coaches poll. Either way. Hey, quickly, final score update. Ohio beats Michigan in the Little League World Series. 8-6.
They were up 5-0.
They were up 5-0.
Third inning, man.
The Little Leaguers from Grosse Pointe Farm City. Oh,
it's
man.
over.
It's over. Elimination game. Congrats to those young kids over there
Sorry,
at Grosse
boys.
Pointe. Sorry, boys, but hell of an experience.
Looking at this schedule, I know we got he's on the line right now, but just looking at this schedule, I am so excited for September 3rd and that game with Notre Dame and Ohio State. I don't know if there's ever been as much anticipation as a head coach's first game in terms of this season. Marcus Freeman is going against Ohio State, the place where he made All-American, the school in which he went after and then had to take his comments back, and now he's at Notre Dame. I don't know if there's ever been a storyline like that in the one game. It's gonna be very exciting to see what happens.
And let's face it, Michigan will probably go ahead of the winner, so Michigan can just go up a little bit. Let's talk a little Michigan football right now with our good friend Alejandro Zúñiga from Michigan Insider 24/7 Sports. Alejandro, thanks for the time, bud. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm excited for that game too, Braylon. I'm counting down the days, and I'm counting down the days for the football season to start.
Cannot wait.
Brother.
Week
Can't wait.
1 of training camp in the books for the Michigan Wolverines. Just some quotes today by Jim Harbaugh that obviously the main story of this training camp to many of us on the outside, who's going to be the starting quarterback, JJ and Cade. And Harbaugh said that both guys were getting first-team reps equally. Is that what the case was?
That is the case, and I'll put it this way. We were not only talking to Jim Harbaugh, we got close from Jim Harbaugh today, but we were talking to both offensive coordinators yesterday, That, of course, is Sharon Moore, Matt Weiss. I asked Matt Weiss, what makes a good quarterback? What are the traits that make a good starting quarterback at Michigan? First thing he said is that some people just have things that you can't teach. One of those is how far you can throw the ball. Second thing is how well you can run and how well you can cut. And who's the quarterback who has that? It is J.J. McCarthy. But we'll see what happens, obviously. But both quarterbacks are first string. They're splitting reps. They're getting the same amount of snaps. They're getting the same opportunities. And we'll see how that plays out in the next few weeks.
Alejandro, is there any indication that that you've seen that this quarterback battle will not go into the season? I mean, at least for the first 3 weeks of the season?
Why not, right? That Braylon, you were just talking about how you're excited about September 3rd because it's going to be Notre Dame against Ohio State, right? Yeah. What do you see on Michigan's? What do you see on Michigan's schedule? It's none of those opponents. It's your UConn, it's your Hawaii, it's your Colorado State. These are the sort of games where you'd hope that even if they weren't 1A, 1B, that you could get your backup quarterback in for the second half. I mean, that's what happened last year with Western Michigan, right? That's when we all got our first taste of J.J. McCarthy. So if you have that opportunity and both are playing great, Jim Harbaugh said today, some days JJ's better in practice, some days it's Cade, sometimes they're up there at the same level. So why not give them both some reps when you got live opponents, real tackling, and see who can win the job for Maryland and then going into Iowa? Why not?
Yeah, that's a small concern for me, is because he's gonna play a lot. And talking about J.J. McCarthy, J.J. McCarthy's gonna play a lot in those games because they'll probably be up big in the second half, especially in the third quarter. So if he goes out there and looks great, now you have this now you really create the controversy. So almost you would rather play a big opponent early on and get it out the way. But let me ask you this: something else that I heard out of camp today is that he said, talking about Coach Harbaugh, he said this could be the best wide receiver core he's seen since he's been there. Talk about that a little bit, what you've seen out of those guys, Ronnie Bell being the catalyst coming back.
Yeah, that's you think about what Michigan lost from last year, and you look at the receiver room, and Jim Harbaugh said they lost nobody. That's not quite true. They lost Dalen Baldwin. They lost Mike Sainristil, who technically he's still taking reps on the offense, but he's mainly switching to the defense. But you're adding Ronnie Bell. You're adding a first-team All-Big Ten caliber player, someone who very well could be playing on Sundays. On top of that, you are getting a veteran, say A.J. Henning, a veteran Cornelius Johnson, and then adding a trio of freshmen who coaches have raved about since they signed those national letters of intent last December, since they all stepped on campus early. They were all early in the release. Obviously, you've got Darius Clemens, who made an impressive diving catch, I'll say. In the spring game, you had Amorian Walker, who is skinny as a rail, but he's going to be good someday. Just might not be this year. He's got to eat some mac and cheese. He's got to eat that chicken broccoli bake, I believe it is, from the South Quad Dining Hall. And then Tyler Morris, the third of the freshmen, who was injured, is coming off an ACL injury from high school. So you've got everyone back, plus Ronnie Bell, plus 3 freshmen who are all very well regarded. Jim Harbaugh said before last season that he thought last year was going to be the best year for wide receivers when he was at Michigan, and they've only improved on that.
Alejandro, thanks for coming on. Tom Mazawey here. Talk about the tight ends. Eric All, Luke Schoonemaker. I mean, this could be a dynamic duo. Forget the wide receivers and the running backs right now. These tight ends, man, they could really change the game.
It's hard not to get excited when you're going down the roster, right? It's especially when you're looking on the offensive side of the ball. It's so easy during the offseason to project the next step for everyone. For Eric All, you don't have to do that. Eric All, he had a rough 2020. He came on our radio show over at the Michigan Insider, and he told us, hey, 2020 was probably the worst year of my playing career. He had the yips. He admitted that. He was dropping everything. He wasn't having fun. He comes back in 2021, and he just had a phenomenal season. He has rebuilt his body. Coaches were saying he looks like he's a man among boys out there. He looks like a full-grown adult. And you saw what he did against, say, Iowa with the one-handed catch at the end of the Big Ten championship game. You saw him on a bum ankle outrunning the Penn State secondary. And he's added 10 pounds on top of that. He looks great physically. And you can only, there's a lot of wealth on the offensive side of the ball. It's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out. But I think tight end between Eric All and Luke Schoonmaker, that's a position to be very excited about.
Talking to Alejandro Zúñiga, Michigan football, Michigan basketball, 24/7 sports. Alejandro, defensively, this team lost Aiden Hutchinson, David Ojabo, Dax Hill, Josh Ross. I mean, how do you come back from that?
That's tough.
Easy answer is you don't, right? Jim Harbaugh, God bless him, but for the past couple weeks, he's been saying that he thinks this defense could be better than the defense from last year. He came on today and he said the edge rushers are better, or just the same or better than Aiden Hutchinson and David Ojabo at this time last year. I don't buy it for a second.
Got to pump up your guys, though, right? Got to pump up your guys. Give them a little confidence, maybe.
Hey, you know what? You can pump up your guys, but when it's 2 first-round picks, obviously Ojabo had the injury that bumped him out of the first round. When it's a top 5 NFL draft pick, and then David Ojabo, who's a superhuman who just skyrocketed up, up as a football player. I don't think they're going to get that this year. I don't think the edge rushers are going to be close to that. I don't think they're going to be bad. I think what you can hang your hat on is that even though Michigan is transitioning away from Mike McDonald, it has not been much of a schematic difference whatsoever, right? You bring in Jesse Minter from Vanderbilt. These are, between Minter and McDonald, these are 2 folks who are in the Baltimore Ravens, coaching tree. They come from the same system. They are running the same system. And what that means is that this year, you can kind of plug and play. You can install more schemes than you did last year, because last year was a first-year defense. You can install more blitzes. You can be more complex in your coverage. And when you do that, even though the talent on the field might not be Daxton Hill and Aiden Hutchinson and David Ojabo, maybe the product can play collectively at a similar level.
Alejandro, last thing. Give us your number. Give us your prediction for the Michigan season.
Whew, put me on the spot there.
Yeah.
I said 12-0.
I said 11-1. So did Braylon.
I said 12-0.
Oh, never mind.
I have waffled on 10-2 and 11-1. I think I'm going to stick with 10-2. The reason I say that is this.
Where are the 2 losses at, Alejandro?
Where are the 2 losses? Okay, here's my concern. Is I came into last basketball season very excited about Caleb Houston and Musa Diabate and thinking, here we go, like this is the year. I think, like I said earlier, it's easy to project, all these players are going to take a step up. But when you're replacing so much on the defensive side of the ball, you've got a new offensive coordinator, you've got a new defensive coordinator. You're playing no one in the non-conference season, and then you're going to Iowa. That's tough. That, I was in Iowa in 2016. Something
they
happens
lost their
there.
3 best players.
They got the Children's Hospital, they got nighttime, they got the Kinnick Voodoo. It's a first big road test. It's the first time leaving the state of Michigan. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I just think
it's a tough place, though.
There's a chance that they trip up on the way.
Very good. Alejandro
Zúñiga,
24/7 sports covers Michigan football, Michigan basketball at BYA Zúñiga. Niga on Twitter. Alejandro, thanks so much, my friend. We really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Got to have you on again, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, man.
Take care, bud.
Love talking Michigan football. We will continue to do that. Add the Spartans in as well. We'll do it next. But first, a message from Cintron.
All right. Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings. And now, Cintron has combined all 3 of their delicious flavors into a limited edition 6-pack sampler. Pre-order now. These 6-pack samplers, CintronWorld.com/Red Wings. Get energized with Cintron. Let them be a part of your life. Let them be a part of memories. Drink it. Live it with Cintron.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
All summer long, the Monroe Street Midway is open in downtown Detroit. Enjoy basketball, roller skating, mini golf, art, live music, food trucks, and more. A fun, safe event for everyone between the ages of 1 and 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com for more info. Again, that is deckedoutdetroit.com.
Oh, yeah. Brian Matt on the YouTube chat. And I appreciate everybody's opinions because opinions are like, you know what? Everybody's got one. Right. And it's fine. I'm not here to argue with you about a sports opinion. Well, I guess I am, but...
Ish.
Yeah. I've soured on Harbaugh. I need to see it to believe it. What the hell do you need to see? What was last year?
Fluke? Is that what he's trying to suggest?
And even if it was a fluke, it was done. It happened.
Yeah.
It wasn't a projection. It wasn't something that was fake.
Yeah.
It happened. Michigan won the Big Ten championship, dominated Ohio State, by the way. And they did not play their best game.
For the most part, dominated that team at East Lansing too.
Absolutely. In the college football playoff, it was what it was. Georgia was a freaking buzzsaw, and so is Alabama. And there's a reason why Ohio State is the only team that could probably ever compete on a stage like that with those teams in the SEC. SEC teams and USC, that's who wins the national championship. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
At one point, Clemson.
You know, sure, throw Clemson in. But it's
2 national championships and played
very
3,
difficult.
so
either way.
So,
but that coach, Dabo Swinney, didn't do it till his 7th year.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't hear, it took him 7 years to do that. That's only an argument for Jim Harbaugh, not Dabo.
Yeah.
Good point, man. I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Wanted to unpack a couple things, Alejandro said. He was talking about the wide receivers. I asked that question because, this is a pretty loaded room. You have Andrew Anthony, the new number 1. You get Ronnie Bell back. So the difference and why he could be right with that comment, because when he first said it, I was thinking of Donovan Peoples-Jones, I was thinking of Tariq Black, and I was thinking of Nico Collins. That receiving core should have been insane. That receiving core had a chance to be just as good as Jason Avant, Steve Breslin, and Braylon Edwards. You know what happened? No player development. They didn't have player development. They had Joe Hastings was the wide receivers coach. He was a practice squad player when I was with the San Francisco 49ers. He had no business being the head coach. Not the head coach. He had no business being the college wide receivers coach for that team. Then they bring in Jim McElwain. Jim McElwain doesn't know anything about coaching wide receivers. Now, he's a head coach. Don't get me wrong, no disrespect to him. Actually, a very nice man, by the way. But he's not a receivers coach. He's not going to get Nico Collins to that next level. He's not going to take Tariq Black's game to the next level. So this is why I agree with Jim Harbaugh in that conversation. You know who the wide receivers coach is now? It's Ron Bellamy. My big brother, my guy that hosted me And he was coached by Eric Campbell, who's the greatest wide receiver coach of all time. Soup, yeah, boy, what's going on? But he was coached by Soup. He did his time with the West Bloomfield High School. He knows how to get that wide receiver. He knows the little things that they need to work on. He can see it in them, and he's going to help those kids up there become the best version of themselves. So Jim Harbaugh is right about the comment, but that's the caveat to why he's right, is because now they have a coach or coaches that are actually developing players.
That's what Alejandro kind of said.
Yeah.
He was disappointed with the basketball team because those players did not take the step up. Caleb Houston, Diabate, they did not take that next step. They were not coached up properly, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I think you automatically assume you've got this great recruiting class. You've got these five-star guys,
They
and
still
it's
gotta
just going
play.
to happen. Yes, it has to get done on the field. You can have all the number, just extend it to the Lions. We say it with Okuda all the time. Just because he's number 3 pick doesn't mean he's going to be some Pro Bowler. You still got to play. You still got to do the job on the field. And I think just because these players were great high school players that got themselves 4 or 5 stars to the left of their name in recruiting magazines doesn't mean they're automatically going to come in, translate to being these great players in college football.
But it's the job of the coaches once they get them out of high school.
100%.
Once they get them out of high school, that jump from high school through the 4 years of college, that's when you learn whatever position you play. That's when you learn the position. That's when you become a wide receiver. That's when you know how to break down on the left foot. That's when you know how to go up and high point the ball. You teach the little things in college. By the time you get to NFL, they're not teaching these things in NFL. NFL, they want you to come in and be ready to go.
But
so
Braylon,
you got to learn it in college. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you're on the right track here because, I mean, I would rather take a 2-star or a 3-star guy and put him with a coach that knows what the hell he's doing instead of getting a 4 or 5-star guy in a program where that's your peak. However good you are now, that's as good as you're ever going to be because they don't know how to develop you. They don't know how to coach you. And I think Michigan State did a great job of that under Mark D'Antonio when he was there, when they were winning all those Big Ten championships and playing in the game. They'd take these 2 or 3-star guys, develop the hell out of them, and before you knew it, they were kicking everybody's ass.
Speaking of, go ahead.
I mean, you know, and then I think about Rashawn Gary, who is a really good pro right now.
But he was average.
At Michigan,
he was a neutral.
He was nothing.
Yeah.
He wasn't even the best lineman on the team when he was there.
And he was the number 1 player in college football, in high school football coming into college.
From Jersey.
But he got to Michigan, and that's as good as he ever was.
They didn't develop
him.
He
was as good year 4, year 3 as he was year 1 when he got there.
That's the other thing you say, talk about David Ojabo. Like everybody is so focused on losing Aiden Hutchinson, losing David Ojabo. Obviously, Aiden Hutchinson breaks the Big Ten record, or Michigan record, excuse me. Chase Young has that record. But he breaks Michigan's record. Then David Ojabo was close and on pace to break the record at one point. But what people forget to realize is going into last season, Aiden Hutchinson only had 3 sacks. David Ojabo was a guy that was on the demonstration team. So who's to tell me that Mike Morris can't go out there and have a hell of a year? Who's to tell me Mozzie Smith, who started all games last year, he started every game last year, who's to tell me Mozzie Smith can't take that jump under Mentor's defense? So that's why I'm saying you got to be careful with saying, oh, Aiden and replacing Job. Yeah, they were hell of a players. They were mean. But going into that season, just like the Michigan team, nobody knew how good they were going to be or the potential that they had. So I think there'll be some guys on this team that can make a statement.
I'll tell you that, and I brought it up. I think the secret weapons on this team are the 2 tight ends, Schoonmaker and All. I think they're going to really step their game up, especially All. I mean, he's ready for a huge season, if you ask me.
I definitely agree. Those tight ends, with all the talent that they have offensively, how do you keep up? Because you can't guard everybody. But Braylon, you were reading my mind, and I hate it when we agree like this all show. I mean, it's
because everybody's always all they do is agree. Like, look, man.
Right, I hate that, man. But you're onto something, because how many people at the start of last year would have told you that Aiden Hutchinson was going to be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft? How many people would have said David Ojabo would have been a top 15 pick in the NFL draft? Nobody.
Dax Hill.
Dax Hill would have been a first round, besides me. Nobody in their right mind would have told you that. But they were developed. They were coached properly. They were coached by an NFL guy in Mike McDonald. And they are coached by another NFL guy in Jesse Minter this year.
100%.
So I think that matters. I think those schemes, I think that development process matters.
Not to mention these guys, you know who these guys are? And speaking of these guys, and Mike Morris and then Jalen Harrell, these guys were watching Aiden Hutchinson and David Ojabo for 365 days.
Without question. Guys, I want to stick with some college football. Braylon, you had mentioned that Ohio State Notre Dame game.
Yep.
I want you to expound on that, the significance of that game, and I just want to go around the top 25 in this college football coaches poll and just pick a team out of here. I'm going to give you a surprise team that could potentially get to the college football playoff.
Okay.
We'll do that next. But first, a message
piqued my
from
interest.
Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. You see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house that tells the bad guys one thing: stay out. That's right. Whether you're home or on the road, their 24/7 local monitoring makes sure what is important to you is safe. Call this number, 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you. We'll be right back.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Thanks for watching on a Monday, YouTube, Woodward Sports Network. If you are watching on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that like button for us. Subscribe to Woodward Sports. Tell a friend about us. See if we can get to 30,000 subscribers in the time remaining that we're on the air, which is 33 minutes. Let's see if we can do that. Braylon.
Yep.
I want to give you a team.
Okay.
That I feel is going to make some noise. A dark horse. This is my dark horse pick.
A dark horse.
For the college football playoff. You ready?
Bet I can probably guess.
Okay.
Nope.
You can't guess it.
Okay. I won't try.
You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
It's a team down south.
I know it already.
Who?
Texas A&M?
Nope.
All right.
Tennessee?
Nope. The Miami Hurricanes.
Cristobal.
The Miami Hurricanes, under first-year head coach Mario Cristobal, they got a quarterback back in Tyler Van Dyke. He's a sophomore, third-year guy, though.
Is he related to Ryan Van Dyke?
I don't know if he is or not, but he doesn't turn the ball over. 25 touchdowns, 6 interceptions last year. Dynamic offense coming back, and they have 2 games this year. They play at Texas A&M earlier in the year, so you can have a loss there. And then they play at Clemson second to last week of the regular season. So you could essentially win that game for a chance to go. And so that's my dark horse pick.
I like Cristobal. I like what he's going to be able to do there. He won in Oregon a lot. People don't give him credit for that. He won the Rose Bowl a couple times. Kept his record 11 or more wins. Recruiting genius, though. Recruits really well and recruits out of that area in Miami. So I think he's going to turn that program around because he just haven't had the guy that can steer those kids in the right direction. And they've had talent. They've had some players, but they haven't had a head man that's guided these guys and guided these kids into the right place. They got rid of that turnover chain or thank God or whatever it was using. That thing it wore its time down. So I think that they can be good. That is an interesting pick, but that game against Clemson and that game against Texas A&M, those are going to be 2 hard games.
You had mentioned Ohio State and
Notre Dame.
That's a game of the month, essentially, right? Game of the month of September.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
That's a hell of an opener.
Yeah.
It just has so many layers to it. You talk about the comments that Marcus Freeman made about
What did he say for the people out there that don't remember? Did he attack the academic standings at Ohio State?
I mean, so I don't get it wrong, I'm going to look up the exact quote. Look up to that. But just as I looked that up, you have...
He basically said you got to go to class at Notre Dame. You don't really have to go to class at Ohio State.
Basically, it's kind of similar to what Jim Harbaugh said about Michigan.
When he was at Stanford.
Yeah,
so the reason why the game for me, I think it's going to be a huge one, is that you had that comment, then he had to walk that comment back. Like we talked about, he was an All-American at Ohio State. Now he's the head coach at Notre Dame. But also, Ohio State did not like the way they got bullied by Michigan. Michigan beat Ohio State, and not just they beat them, they demolished them at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. They have had a long time to think about that and to get right. And I'm telling you, they're going to come into that game with a lot of fire and a lot of smoke. I think either Ohio State is going to blow Notre Dame out or Notre Dame is going to win it close.
Who do you root for in that game as a Michigan fan?
Notre Dame.
I don't. I root for Ohio State in that game, and it's the same reason I root for Michigan State every week too. I want Michigan State to be unbeaten when Michigan plays them, and I want Ohio State to be unbeaten when Michigan plays them. It's just my general rule. It's my general Michigan sports fan rule.
It's one loss at the beginning of the year.
Ermanni.
It's meaningless.
I understand. I took great pleasure in seeing them lose to Oregon. And don't let me tell you, if Notre Dame beats them, I'm not going to cry any tears.
Right.
But again, if Ohio State beats Notre Dame, it's probably better for Michigan because you get Notre Dame out of there. Notre Dame is the wild card every year when it comes to conference champions. Is Notre Dame going to steal a spot in the college football playoff from a conference champion? If Ohio State can beat them, you kind of get them out of the mix.
Unless they run the table.
If they run the table, sure, but they've got to run the table.
Is there any way they can end in a tie? Because I'm not cheering for either one of them. I hate Notre Dame. I hate Ohio State. But what you said 100% matters. Notre Dame's always at that dark horse where they sneak in there and they can pick off a conference champ. So I agree with that point right there. And also Ohio State, you do want that game to be undefeated. You want all the marbles on the table because you want all the bragging rights as well. So I like that.
My dark horse for the year, it's not very dark. It's USC. USC, man, they're a player again. I don't care. I know it's his first time over there, Lincoln Riley. I know he's got his quarterback and his wide receiver on the payroll, making a lot of money. I really believe USC takes a huge step forward this year. And what is it, 2 more years before they're in the Big Ten?
Yeah, 24-25, right?
Yeah.
The thing about USC that
they got to make hay now.
The thing that I don't like so much about USC is the up front. Offensively, defensively, on their offensive line, defensive line. I just don't think they're there yet.
But they're playing in the Pac-10 now.
Yeah, that's true.
All right? They didn't get to the Big Ten yet. When they get to the Big Ten, then they got to worry about the big uglies. Right now, they don't got to worry about it.
As soon as Lincoln Riley went to USC, I started talking USC way back then. And then they picked up Caleb Williams. Then they went and picked up Jordan Addison. I've been on it. But those aren't the only 2 moves they made. They picked up a lot of guys who's transfer portal from all over. They stole some guys from Texas A&M. Got some guys that come over from Oregon. Got a couple guys that come over from Texas on the offensive line. So I don't think you have to wait. Like everybody's saying, oh well, it'd take him a second.
That's true.
Because everybody's saying, well, he was gifted the keys to the kingdom when he took over Oklahoma. They were 11-1 the year before he got there. That's true. But don't you think for one second Lincoln Riley didn't keep that program at that level? Now they didn't get to the national championship, but they stayed right there. They were in the college football playoff twice. So I think that he's going to use what he learned at Oklahoma. He's going to bring that to USC. He's going to run through that easy, soft Pac-12 or Pac-10, however many teams are in and out, and they're going to get ready to make a run for the playoffs.
How many more of these do you think Nick Saban's got in him?
as much as he wants.
63 first place votes in the preseason poll last year, 54, number one this year. At some point, I don't know if he wins the title this year. Does he just go out? What more do you have to prove? Is it in your blood that much?
I think it is.
Because especially if he wins it, could this be the last year we see Nick Saban?
I mean, with Bill Belichick, the same way. Like, them jokers are damn good at what they do. That is what they love the most, is coaching the New England Patriots and the Alabama Crimson Tide. I think it's coming, though. I think it's coming. That whole exchange with him and Jimbo Fisher, like, that's out of character for Saban. Like, the fact that he got that riled up, made that comment, kind of really went after him when his closet, he got a ton of skeletons in his closet as well.
Not only that, but he got pushback. That was the first time he really got pushback.
Exactly, and that's why I'm saying, like, stuff like that starts happening. I told you how happy he looked in those commercials, those Aflac commercials last year. If they would have won a national championship last year, I'm not so certain that he wouldn't have left this year. But I think it's Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young will be his last guy. Like, I think so. Bryce Young's a sophomore. I think he'll wait for Bryce. So that's this year, that's next year, and then.
Well, Bryce will be out this year. I think.
Oh, that's right. There it is.
This is it. You win and you're done, right?
Because it's getting harder.
Yeah.
Like, it's getting harder with the transfer portal, with the NIL, with the teams that are coming to
Who
the
gets
SEC.
that team then?
You saw what?
Who takes
Bill
that
O'Brien,
team?
maybe?
Who takes Alabama? Bill O'Brien?
I mean, he's on the staff right now.
I know. I just don't. Do you see him?
I don't know.
It's so crazy because I can't imagine anybody other than Nick Saban being the coach. You know, some places you can say, like, let's say Michigan is like, all right, well, 3 years, I can see Mike Hart as a head coach. Alabama's like just him.
Yeah, I mean, Bill O'Brien. I thought when was the guy, Bill O'Brien would be the guy off the top of my head. Told Saban he wouldn't leave. He was interviewing. He didn't interview for NFL head coaching positions.
Why would he get hired after what he did with the Texans?
Well, that's true. I'm not his agent, but that's just what he said. There was a report in the ESPN.com on that. You mentioned Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots.
I did.
His run is done, and I'll tell you why. 2 words for it. I'll do it next. But first, a message from Gypsy Vodka.
All right. Gypsy Vodka has created a masterpiece, and it's called the Mulligan. Introduce the Mulligan by Gypsy Vodka. 8% alcohol seltzer. Adam and Mike, Michigan State guys, got it right with this one. Iced tea, lemonade, and mango. It is so smooth. But be careful, because like I said, it is 8%, not 5%. On the golf course, in the backyard, just having a good time. Enjoy it. There's only a little time left in the summer, so you want to pick yourself up a Mulligan. But if you're going to drink, remember to always drink responsibly.
Detroit's downtown summer playground is back. Open all summer long, the Monroe Street Midway. Enjoy roller skating, free Wi-Fi, food trucks, art installations, and so much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the basketball court, putt-putt, and, of course, family programming all summer long. All art installations are done by Detroit artists, and it's a fun, safe event from people 1 to 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the Bottom Line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live, all right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
I wish there was a giveaway, because I'd give something away to Piston Fan 11. LOL, Matt Patricia will be those 2 words. And that is right. That's what it is. Bill Belichick will not win another playoff game as head coach of the New England Patriots. I think he has jumped the shark as a head coach in this league. I think he's way too cocky, way too confident. For lack of a better way to say it, that you just think you could bring back these older guys, these guys that used to be on your staff, and that's the way you can continue to do things. If you ain't evolving, you ain't winning.
100%.
And I use ain't for effect. And Matt Patricia and Joe Judge are unmitigated disasters. And you are taking your franchise quarterback and ruining him. Putting that kid with these two players. Maz can tell you about Judge, and I can tell you about Patricia. Period. End of story. In the report, Braylon, do we have that tweet, Fletch, please? The report from Mike Girardi, NFL Network. Mac Jones has had some moments of uncertainty a year ago in training camp, but not nearly as many as you would expect for a rook. This summer, far more. Yes, it is early August. There's time. However, the install started back in spring, and you like more comfort and success. Girardi followed up that tweet and said it's not all on the quarterback, Mac Jones. The offensive line basically has no idea what they're doing. They're an unmitigated disaster in New England with Matt Patricia, the former defensive coordinator, by the way, of the New England Patriots, now trying to install an offense and be the offensive coordinator. Because why? Because Bill Belichick said so. And it ain't going to work. Bill Belichick, mark my words, will never win another playoff game as head coach of the New England Patriots.
Good for you.
Sounds like a hot take there, buddy.
There you go. There's my hot take alert.
I would have to agree. I think he keeps his team floating around 10 wins. But what happens with geniuses, or what happens with people that have success a lot of times, the arrogance, the stubbornness, they want all the credit. They want to prove you how great they are. They want to prove you that I am Bill Belichick. I don't need anybody. I can make anybody fit into this system that I have constructed for it to work. He took Tom Brady for granted. And they were trying to figure out, is it Tom or is it Bill? Is it Bill or is it Tom? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's Tom Brady. Like, he had a great system put in place, defensive and offensive. I got to give Bill Belichick credit. He knows far more than anybody else, except maybe Parcells. But he put that system in play, offensively and defensively, and you just needed the right guy. Drew Bledsoe was a guy that maybe win you one playoff game, but he's not going to be the guy that take you to the next level. Tom Brady was a godsend, and Tom Brady's the GOAT. He thought, when everybody started in the last 4 years, is it Tom, is it Brady, is it me, or is it Tom? He wanted to prove that it was him. He wants so desperately to win the Super Bowl without Tom. Tom winning in Tampa, I can only imagine his face watching that game when they blew the Chiefs on that game. That's his fault for trying to push Tom out. Fine, Tom got the hell out of there. Because Tom would still be there if Bill wouldn't have been himself.
That's a mic drop, but I'll use pencil instead. That's a pencil drop, Braylon. You hit it on the head.
Ryan knocked it out the park.
To the T.
But again, why isn't Tom Brady there anymore? Because Bill Belichick didn't evolve. Bill Belichick didn't let him do some of the things that he's doing now in Tampa with TB12, but posting on Instagram and Twitter and doing all of these fun things, having fun. And Matt Patricia did the same thing here. Tried to tell these guys how it is, treat them like friggin' peons, not let them have any fun. And I'm telling you, it doesn't work today. It might have worked in 2002 or 2001. It worked 20 years ago. And because you had the right player at the right time in the right situation, Tom Brady, by the way, that's why it worked that sustained period of time. I just don't think it's going to work anymore at all, especially when you bring guys like Judge and Patricia back.
What a clown.
Like, Bill Belichick is from the old school. We know it's Bill Parcells. In the earlier 2000s, even the mid 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, the coaches were like the leaders, the generals, and the players were just soldiers. They talked to them like soldiers. They talked to us like soldiers. Like, they were above us. They were coaching us, and that was the extent of the relationship. You move into the 2022, coaches and players are like boys and friends and family. And it's like a big family. They're doing it different. Like, look at the relationship with Matt Stafford and Josh McVay. Look at the relationship with Staley and Herbert. Look at the relationship with the coach from Cincinnati and Burrow.
Zach
Exactly. Guys that's the Jets.
Zach Taylor.
Like coaches are like that now. Bill Belichick, that tyrant that only worked because he got in right at the tail end. That stuff doesn't work anymore. Andy Reid is ahead of his time because Andy Reid's always been that way.
I think it still works, but don't hire Matt Patricia.
Well, look,
it still works.
But again, I don't know if it does. I don't know if it does anymore. And I'm not saying you can't be age-wise an older head coach or an older coach. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Not at all.
What I'm saying is you better have the ability to evolve. You've got to let some things go a little bit. And again, that Tom Brady documentary that was on ESPN Plus, I forget what it's called.
Man in the Arena.
Man in the Arena. You know, he so much, but admitted he'd still be in New England, but he wanted to do other things. He wanted to do some other things in his life, and that just was not permitted in New England. You just couldn't do that stuff under Bill Belichick. And it just did. I don't think that worked for today's player, and I don't think it works for today's player when you don't have recent success. This is a what have you done for me lately league. It always has been. It always will be. Yeah. And Bill Belichick has not done anything for anybody lately. And he hasn't without Tom Brady as head coach. So
it's been 5 years since they won a championship.
It's been, since they won a playoff game too.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You know, so I don't know. I just don't think that stuff works. And when you're cocky enough to hire a coach that's a defensive coach for an offensive guy, because it doesn't matter who you hire, anything you touch goes to gold. It's not always the case. Sometimes what you touch goes to shit.
A defensive coach that came here and got rid of our best defensive players and made us the worst, made us a laughing stock.
Got rid of the two best players on defense.
Yeah.
But when you put an install in, okay, you have to be able to break that install down and know it like the back of your hand and put the install in. So if you put it in April and with no offensive coordinator, who's even putting this install in? Who knows this like the back of the hand? Josh McDaniels isn't there, and they changed the system. They are putting their players behind the A-ball. You read in the comments, linemen don't know what to do. Like quarterback Mack is really trying to get it on. It's too much on his plate. They are going to be in trouble in the beginning of the season.
And Matt, Joe Judge, I mean, as a Giants head coach, it's not like he had Daniel Jones all looking good at quarterback. No. That poor kid's on the verge of being out of the league.
He had a lot of trouble in Jersey. It didn't last, and I'm glad they pulled the cord when they did. He looked like, when they hired him, I'm like, man, maybe this is finally the Patriot coach that's going to work. It's going to work. It didn't work. I remember he got in a couple of shouting matches, almost a fight with a player. You're not better than anybody else. You, Matt Patricia, Joe Judge, you're not better than anybody.
It just seems like the guys that have fallen off that Belichick tree and Joe Judge, like guys that have come off that tree, or Parcells and Belichick, come off that tree. They're just not having fun like the coaches that came off the Shanahan tree. Because when you look at the coaches that have come from Shanahan and Andy Reid, they love football. The players love them like they have fun.
The
like
Parcells tree.
It's the Parcells tree. Like all those guys look miserable, even when they win championships. I'm watching. Shanahan looks great. Like Staley looks like he's having fun. Like you talk about McVay. McVay's having all the fun. Kevin O'Connell, who's now going to be the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. Watch how much fun that team has this year. Watch how much fun it looks like in Minnesota. Another guy off that Josh McVay, off that Shanahan tree.
By the way, the Minnesota stadium, I happen to pass it. That Viking Stadium is outstanding. Gorgeous place to play. It'd be nice to have a place like that to play down here. Yes.
U.S. Bank, yeah.
They even have they got the rowboat out front, or whatever the hell you call it. Yeah. Skull. The whole it's so cool looking, man.
Very good.
It's so cool.
Too bad they got a losing quarterback in charge of their.
It's not a losing quarterback. He's an average.
He's fine. He's a fine quarterback.
He'll get you to the playoffs.
It's my Kirk Cousins hate of the day.
I get it.
I don't know, and I like Cousins. Yeah. He's fine.
He'll get you to the playoffs. He just won't win the game.
Maz is back for Maz's videos of the day. We'll do it next, but first a message from Academy of Warren.
Academy of Warren is currently enrolling for kindergarten through 8th grade. It features AM and PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, a learning street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, and K through 8 athletics. Speaking of athletics, Academy of Warren has a brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house that has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field. Also can be used for 7-on-7 football. Enroll today at academyofwarren.net. That is academyofwarren.net.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Hit that like button for us. 6 likes away from 100. Hit it for us.
Did you know Olivia Newton-John died?
You are such a...
That sucks.
Yeah, 73 years old.
I knew she had cancer years ago. She battled it long.
Not very...
God bless her.
Not very old at all.
I wasn't laughing at Olivia Newton-John for you guys out there in the chat. I was laughing because Ryan said that on the show already like 15 minutes ago.
I told Maz.
Maz gave us breaking
Or at
news.
least I said it during a commercial break. I said it in the studio.
Yeah, I heard you.
You probably said it when I was doing maybe a read or something because I didn't hear it.
Probably not.
Probably.
Good to have you back, man.
I was just about to say, man, I missed the family.
This guy just doesn't pay attention.
How were videos of the day last week?
Actually, I will tell you.
Hey.
You got to talk to Stick.
Hey.
Stick had them videos rolling for you.
Fire. And he was running through. Hey.
Look, he had them videos rolling.
Oh, so you think he's better than me, huh?
No, I don't. I did not say that. I said he kept up with the tradition.
I think you did say that.
Maz's videos of the day.
You said you got to come with it.
And let's do it now. Time of the day. We like to play Maz's videos of the day.
You mean Sticks.
And now it's time for Maz's videos of the day. Only on the Woodward Sports Network.
What do you got, Maz?
I got you, Hank.
Pressure.
Tom Izzo and Mel Tucker yesterday over at MIS. Did you see that? The NASCAR race at MIS?
I didn't watch it.
Well, start your engines. Here it is.
Drivers, start your engines. Go green.
What do you think?
That's so corny.
Did you like that?
Dumb.
Made me hate Michigan State even more.
Yeah.
How long did it take him to practice that?
Go green. Yeah,
Hey, you're going to do the right arm. I'm going to do the left arm.
How come they didn't say go
Why
white?
did they get to do it, not Harbaugh?
Harbaugh and Juwan Howard would have killed it. I think.
Right.
So there you
They
go.
said, who's got it better than us?
Nobody. All right, let's take you out to Kansas City Chiefs camp. Justin Reed, he's a safety, okay? So they're like, hey, he wants to kick a 63-yard field goal. All right, let's let our safety, Justin Reed, try a 63-yard field goal.
Hopefully he didn't pull a hammy.
Here it is. By the way, it was 65 yards.
Look at you.
65
Look at
yards. By a safety.
We used to love
Not
doing that
bad.
after practice. We always try. There's 2 contests we do. We do the kicking one during practice, doing water breaks, and then we would do the throwing the ball at the crossbar. And the furthest kick that wasn't a kicker I've seen. Then we had something about DBs because we had a DB kick one for about 55. Rodney Poole. Oklahoma.
Did you see Justin Tucker signed the biggest, the richest deal for a kicker today?
17.5.
Probably
deserves guarantee, 11.5.
What a stud.
Yeah,
what
he's been
a
the best.
stud.
We were talking about this before the show with Adam Bay doing this. Usually, every couple of years, there's a new kicker. And like in the past, that's the best kicker in the league. Well, he's been the best kicker the last 8 years, so that says something.
I always do a reach on my fantasy draft and take him a little bit earlier than you're supposed to
just
take
to
a
have
kicker.
the best one.
I gotta have Justin Tucker on my team.
Gotta have it.
Gotta have it. All right, here's one for you.
66.
This you ever see the flume ride? The guy goes down and you flip into the pool.
Yeah.
Would you do this?
Probably owns it.
Here we go.
What's happening here?
Probably owns his water park.
Oh my God! No way!
He almost missed that water. It was almost a scrambled egg sandwich.
Ain't that something?
Oh my God!
There's another angle to that. I probably should have added that as well. But yeah, he does it. He sticks it, and he goes high in the air and lands. Look at that thing. He's over the light tower.
Only takes once.
Wow. I mean, he's a big guy, too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big fella.
I mean, that thing was straight down, man.
Yeah.
Dumb guy, too.
Here's the dummy. I got another dummy for you.
Okay, let me see the dummy.
And he sticks the landing. This guy sticks the landing. Here you go.
Oh, God. What a dummy.
Drinking the beer.
Oh!
And he gets up. Isn't that so?
What a dummy.
This is the headline of that was "This is why women live longer than men."
Yeah.
You're not going to see a lady try to do
what
that.
A dummy.
Right. He stuck it, but at what cost?
That back's got to be hurting him today.
Oh yeah.
He played it off cool.
Lastly, do you like pineapple?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
All right. When you go to the store, you go to Nino Salvaggio or something, they got the pineapple all cut up for you in the
Upside
plastic
down,
bin.
all that stuff.
Yeah. This is how it happens. Check out the pineapple cutting machine. Here it is.
What?
This is the pineapple cutting machine. It shows you what it does. Brings it down. Now it's going to skin the pineapple.
Oh my gosh.
Drop it down. Look how pretty that is.
Gorgeous.
Then it's going to come on over here. Here comes the knife. It's going to go through there. It's going to go through all those knives.
Gorgeous.
It's gorgeous, that pineapple. Then it's going to go into the sectioning machine.
Oh, I love it.
And look how it comes out, nice and perfect. There it is.
Unbelievable.
That,
That's a fresh pineapple.
And they charge you probably $5 for that.
That seems like a very expensive piece of machinery for just a pineapple cutter. That seems like a lot.
But they charge you $5 for it when a pineapple's a buck.
Because they got to
$1.25.
pay for that machine that they just bought to cut the pineapple.
I love
Oh
pineapple.
my God. Guys, what a great day. Man, so good to have you back.
Thanks,
Flex
guys.
Flannel in the house as well. Bray?
Hey, man, you know what? We are getting close. The gang is back together. We're getting closer and closer this Friday. The Lions start
We're all
this season.
going.
But guess what? Tomorrow, we do have Hard Knocks. So, man, get ready because it's going to be fun. My man, Flannel Sam in the booth. To my right, we have my buddy Fletch. Maz is back on the couch.
Mazawey.
And then my brother to another mother.
Braylon Edwards.
There it is. Bottom line.